and welcome to Hero Power. I'm Avantes, your host, and as always, I'm joined by my co-host, Zeroshio.
What is up, gang? How are you this week? How's your week in Hearthstone? Life, all that stuff?
Good. I've been playing, checking out quite a bit of the Battlegrounds, the new changes, which,
Yeah,
spoiler, that's what we're going to be doing tonight on the
yeah.
show instead of playing a deck list. I got a first place this week. So I
Cool.
was happy to do that in the new Battlegrounds rating system. I got 299 points for my win instead of 300, which we talked about in our patron only Discord, which you can be a member of for as little as $1 a month. But other than that, I've been in vacation mode, honestly. We're getting ready to leave here in about 4 days. We're going to be gone for 5 days, and I'm ready to just get away from it all for a little while and just chillax.
Well, speaking of our patron Discord that you can be part of for as little as $1 a month over at patreon.com/hero power, I'd like to personally thank Gromok for joining us, and he
Welcome,
kind of
sir. We are glad to have you.
he listened to our show last week, and he's been a long time listener, and he heard us talking about uh, the email from Nigel,
Mm-hmm.
and thought he definitely wanted to be part of the group so he can talk about it, and we're welcome to have him. He's been in the community for a while, and I'm glad he finally joined our Discord.
Absolutely, yeah.
But as for myself, I kind of took it a little easy first of the month. I think I'm sitting in gold something right now,
Mm-hmm.
and still in bronze in wild. I haven't been feeling real well personally, and having a lot of stuff I have to get out of my head, and I thought I'd just take a little break from ladder. However, in THL, I won both my matches in Wild and in the Conquest Legacy series.
Mm-hmm.
My team lost the Wild series by 1 point, but we're still in first place by a lot. And then tonight is I swept my opponent yesterday in Legacy for the Pod people, and tonight Ridiculous Hat's going to decide our fate whether we win or lose tonight. He is streaming on Team Hearth Legends
Awesome.
Twitch, so I'll be definitely watching that tonight. I'm excited, but and then I had a match in this coin conceit series against Ridiculous Hat, where I brought Big Warrior and, get this, Quest Highlander Paladin.
What? Quest Highlander Paladin.
Standard Quest Highlander Paladin.
I thought Versika was the mad scientist.
I ended up beating Ridiculous Hat 2-0. And
Wow.
I actually also brought Soul Demon Hunter, but he banned my Demon Hunter. Well, he immediately went into the Coin Concede Listener Series Discord and said, don't make the mistake I did. Whoever plays him in week 6, ban his Paladin. So
That's great.
which in my Legacy Series match, my Paladin was respect banned, even though it probably wasn't the best ban.
Yeah.
And then I respect banned my opponent's Shaman because he's 100% win rate with it this season. So I ended up sweeping that one. That one worked out for me. But yeah, I've had a busy tournament series. I think I'm going to cut back one of the series next season.
Mm-hmm.
It's been a little more than I could handle. I did this before, and it was more than I could handle. I don't know why I thought I could do it again. But I'll probably hit the ladder some this week with my wife out of school for fall break. I'll have a little more time where I don't have to pick her up and things like that. So that might allow me to stay up a little later.
Okay.
But I'm probably going to take it pretty easy on the ladder this month because it's obviously we're in October. This is normally when we would hear rumblings of news about the next set, and then it being announced at the beginning of November. So this is usually the most quiet it's going to be. I have played quite a bit of Battlegrounds. The first day I got a lot of second places, and I think I got like 602 points.
Mm-hmm.
I played yesterday and went like 1-5. I don't know if all the good players were on the weekend or what. I was I was I actually got fourth place in a match
Wow.
and got 300 points,
Okay.
which tells
Interesting.
me that everybody else in my lobby had a very high hidden MMR.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I got the maximum points you can get right now, because right now it's 300, even though I was fourth place.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that kind of, I got quite a few of 300 second places like on the first day, or a
Okay.
couple 300 second. I'm sitting at like 902, I think it is.
Okay.
So
Awesome.
just
Awesome.
kind of
Well,
grinding it up.
you're going to be driving tonight, so I'm excited to check out the lobbies that you're
Oh,
in
cool.
and see what we got. So
Yeah, we'll see. It's been kind of tough.
yeah.
Hopefully some of the guys are letting their kids play on their Battlegrounds account.
Well, before we jump into the news, I wanted to talk a little bit about something we announced last week, and that
Yes.
is our $20 Battle.net gift card giveaway. So to be entered into the giveaway, all you have to do is go to warcraftradio.com/directory, sort by the Hearthstone podcasts, and find Hero Power and leave us a review. That's it. That's all you got to do. Just go, leave us a review, good, bad, or otherwise. I'd like to shout out Howard the Dave, Anjan San, and Kurt Hunter.
Yes.
Those three have already left us reviews and are already entered into the giveaway for that $20 gift card. So you too can be entered in just by going and leaving us a review before midnight on December 31st. We will draw the winner on November 1st.
Yep.
So go over to warcraftradio.com/directory and leave us a review. But while you're there, if you listen to any World of Warcraft podcasts, or if you listen to any Overwatch podcasts or anything,
or God forbid, any other
Hearthstone podcasts, absolutely leave your thoughts. Let them know how they're doing and what you think of their shows, because most podcasters, especially like us, love to hear from you guys. So yeah, check it out, and we will draw a winner on November 1st.
And as a reminder, all you have to do is use your battle.net login, and it'll log you right in. So you don't have to create a new ID or anything like that. We'll be able to identify you. And second, if we get 50, that's 50, or more reviews between now and the end of the month, I will personally be throwing in for an additional $20 gift card.
That's right. We'll draw 2 names out of that list. So all right. So as the other thing we talked about last week, we're going to be taking next week off. It is totally my fault because I am going on vacation. I've been cooped up in the house in Tennessee for long enough. I am going to get away for a few days, and we will be back with our next episode on October the 18th. I believe that is correct. And
that's where we're going to record it, yeah.
That will be our 5-year anniversary episode.
Yes.
Cannot believe it'll have been 5 years since we started this podcast.
Please, if you're part of our Discord, send us a message. Or if you're in Discord and want to, find any of us, especially myself and any of the other community Discords, feel free to private DM me, or you can hit us up on Twitter at HeroPower_cast. And if you want to send us a recording, or you want to send us a written statement, or anything you would like to say for our 5-year anniversary, we will gladly include it in the show.
Mm-hmm.
So you got 2 weeks. And we will not be here next week, so just we'll probably send a tweet reminder out. Between now and then.
Absolutely.
But I'm excited. 5 years.
I know, time flies.
Yeah, I was looking at my friends list today, and I was getting spectated by a mind binder, And I was like, man, he's been my friend forever. And I looked, and he's been my friend since May of 2015,
Mm-hmm.
before we started the show.
Yeah.
I was like, wow, I've been playing this game a really long time.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, that brings us to this week's news. We really don't have a whole lot of news to talk about, but we're going to talk about Grandmasters. So
Yes.
we are in the final week of round robin, which is week 7, and APAC relegation. We're talking relegation now. It's that
Yeah.
time. In Division A, Bank Yugi and Dawn are going to the relegation bracket.
Yeah, and as a reminder, the way the relegation bracket works is the seventh and eighth place players in Division A will go to the relegation bracket, along with the fifth and sixth place players in Division B. And how the relegation bracket works is the Division A relegation player, so in this case, Bank Yugi and Dawn, will play. Whoever wins will not get relegated.
Mm-hmm.
Whoever loses will have to face the fifth place player in Division B, who is Flurry.
Okay.
So, and whoever wins that doesn't get relegated, and then whoever loses has to play the sixth place player, who is currently Alutimu. And again, some of those may get switched by their places based on tiebreakers, but it looks like that's the way it's going to be. So your sixth place in Division B is only going to get one chance not to get relegated, where Flurry, the fifth place, will get two chances, and then the Division A's relegation of Bank Yugi and Dawn will get 3 total chances to not get relegated. So this is actually a tournament you don't want to move further in the bracket.
Yeah.
You want to exit out of the bracket early. And then in Division B, we have Rivius and new Grandmaster Kin 0531 taking 7th and 8th, which means they're automatically relegated.
Okay.
And Rivius, I was really surprised because he started out pretty strong, and then he kind of just faltered when we got to the playoffs.
Yeah.
So he's had a tough time of it.
Yeah. Now over in the EU, in Division A, we're seeing Bunny Hopper and Viper playing to not go to the relegation bracket.
And if you're going to watch any Grandmasters on VODs, if you didn't watch this, go back and watch the Bunny Hopper Casey match.
Mm-hmm.
They went to get 5 games, and you could literally see the anxiety on both their faces, because the winner, who was Casey, if he wins, he gets to go to playoffs for a chance to go to Worlds. But whoever loses has to play in the relegation tournament against Viper. And Bunny Hopper and Viper pretty much was in the bottom spot the whole time, so he was a shoe-in for relegation bracket.
Yeah.
But Viper and Bunny Hopper practiced together, and in a lot of tournaments, Zelda.
Yeah, she decided she wanted to be right in the middle of my desk.
And in a lot of tournaments, Bunny Hopper and Viper will bring the same 30-card lineup very often. So it's going to be very interesting to see them play that first round. And Viper's he's just not playing the way he normally does.
Mm-hmm.
But I saw somebody today in one of our Facebook groups show a picture of that last game where Casey and Bunny Hopper both had their hands in their face, where Casey high-rolled a Grom for lethal at the very end. So it's, you could see the anxiety on both of one of disappointment, one of just joy, because he made it to playoffs.
Right.
And then in Division B, we have A-Rock in 5th place and Warma in 6th place for that relegation bracket that I just described. And then Boar Control and Silvername are being relegated.
Yeah,
again.
So again, big names. Last season we saw defending world champion Hunter Ace, and now we're seeing 2 more huge names in the EU in Boar Control and Silvername.
Well, that just says that all 16 players in EU are top level.
They are.
Anybody who gets relegated deserves to still be there because, in my opinion, EU has the best overall player pool.
I agree, 100%.
Now, I don't necessarily think they have the best players because I would go to bat that Bloodyface is probably one of the best players in the world, if not the best player in the world, based on his performance over the last 3 or 4 years. But remember, Silvername is going to World Championships in December.
He is.
He could literally win it all and still get relegated.
Mm-hmm. Our world champion could not be a Grandmaster.
I don't like that. I think if you win the World Championships, it should guarantee you a spot. I don't think they should decide the who gets promoted until after World Championships. And if you win World Championships, you get one of those slots.
Mm-hmm.
I just think if you're getting relegated, I just think, sure, the first season of the year, it's not as big of a deal, but in the second season of the year,
well, here's the thing. Here's the thing. Grandmasters decides World Championships, right?
Yes. Yeah.
That basically means World Championships are meaningless, especially if your world champion is not a Grandmaster.
I would agree with that. And the only way to get the World Championships is through the Grandmaster system. I think it's a flawed system. I think we should go back to point systems.
Very flawed system.
I don't think that the prize money is a balanced metric. I think if you get certain spots throughout multiple tournaments, including the Grandmaster pools, you should accrue points so that those Grandmasters that do step up, maybe not points in Grandmasters, but anything outside Grandmasters, including World Championships, should give points. And World Championships, in my opinion, should be an auto
Grandmaster
promotion.
Yep.
Since you're already in Grandmasters, if you're at threat of being relegated, or if you were relegated in the first season of the year, you could take one of those slots that are opened up. Because we've had multiple times now that this has been a scenario. We had Fino last year. We have Silvername this year, and we might have another name out of Americas.
Yeah. Yeah, in Division A of the Americas, it's up in the air right now, and it's going to really come down to the match between two of our favorites, Language Hacker and Bloodyface.
Which we're recording this on Sunday. Americas has not started, or just started. And right now, currently, you have Just Sayin in 7th place in Division A after 7 games. So he's played all of his games, and he only has 3 wins. And then in 8th place currently is Bloodyface, who's played 6 games so far and has only won 2. So that means and Language Hacker is in 5th place and he has 3 wins. So if Bloodyface beats Language Hacker, that means Bloodyface, Just Sayin, Language Hacker, and Monsanto will all have, and Eddie will all have 3 wins. And if Killin' All Day loses his match to Muzzy, he'll also have 3. So you have 6-way tie, and it will come down to tiebreakers. Now, it looks like Bloodyface will likely possibly still be in there, but again, tiebreakers are pretty crazy. So who knows exactly how it's going to flesh out. So that's your pool of players. There's 6 possible players that could go in that relegation bracket. It looks like Just Sayin's almost guaranteed to be in the relegation bracket because if Bloodyface wins, it'll bump him up.
Mm-hmm.
His tiebreaker should go just above Just Sayin. And Language Hacker it'd be Language Hacker or Monsanto. Again, I don't know exactly how. The tiebreakers are kind of confusing. And then in Division B, Empanizado is going to be relegated. We know that. However, the last slot to go with Empanizado could be taken by Firebat, Nalgadon, Rami. I think Briarthorn's safe because of tiebreakers at this point, even if he loses to Frozen right now.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's kind of it's that race between Rami, who's the new Grandmaster, Nalgadon, and Firebat if he wins, for who gets relegated, and then who are the other two that will go into the relegation bracket.
Yeah, do you know if Firebat gets relegated,
That's a former world champion.
we will only have one former world champion in Tom 60229 still in Grandmasters. There will be no other world championships.
Still in the Grandmasters that don't include China, because we know that
Lion
is in their Grandmasters system. Yeah.
Is in the Chinese system.
But in the European, APAC, and Americas region, we'll only have one champion left. And we weren't really going to go over this.
So let me ask you this. This isn't in our notes, but let me just ask you off the wall. Do you think being a Hearthstone world champion is a curse?
I don't think so. I don't think it's a curse. I do think there's a lot of stress with this new system. We weren't going to bring it up on the show, but I do want to say something about it. Bloodyface put out a tweet longer, and he pretty much explained that he loves Hearthstone and he'll always continue playing it because he loves the game. But as a competitive nature, and I'm paraphrasing here, it's not where it used to be. He doesn't like the system. He doesn't like the fact that he can't tour, despite the whole pandemic thing. Even before the pandemic, he can't go out and go to a lot of these open tournaments. And the only way you can go to world championships is if you go through the Grandmaster system, which he doesn't seem to like that.
When you say go out to these, he's talking third-party events.
Third-party,
like DreamHacks and things like that.
That they pretty much have made it so those don't exist anymore because of the new Masters Tour system. And he has said if he is to be relegated, he will likely not attempt to get back into the Grandmasters and attempt to compete in another game. Mm-hmm. And he did mention that Teamfight Tactics is on his list of other games he could be competitive in. That's a huge loss, in my opinion, because in my opinion, I think Bloodyface is the best player in the world. He has steadily improved every year, and if he improves on last year, he will win world championships this year. But if he gets relegated, that's I don't know, man.
Let's theorize that. Bloodyface gets relegated out of Grandmasters, wins world championships,
and then doesn't try to get back in,
and then leaves to go play another game. You have effectively run your world champion out of your game
because of a faulty competitive system.
Yep.
And nothing against Bloodyface, and I think this is a healthy decision for him if it goes that way. Again, he left his tweet longer very open-ended. He kind of alluded that if things were to change in the Hearthstone environment, he could change his mind. And he's not retiring. He's just saying if things go south and he is forced into relegation, that he's not going to push to try to get back in.
Yeah.
So he's going to change his focus elsewhere into streaming and other ways to make money, because he admitted that in the current system, since there's no third-party tournaments and there's such a limited amount of tournaments that earn prize money, he is not making nearly as much in Grandmasters as he was back in the HCT days, where he could go and grind open tournaments.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he'd be a tournament grinder.
Right.
I think, especially with the pandemic the way it is and all the online tournaments, that Blizzard needs to consider going back to a system similar to HCT. Start promoting these third-party companies, saying, hey, if you want to do online tournaments instead of us doing them and paying people to mandate them, let's you all run them and you all accrue points through your systems. And maybe not identical to the way HCT was, because it had flaws as well, but this basing promotion off prize money and basing your world championship strictly on the Grandmaster system isn't working, in my opinion.
Oh, I agree. So I want to, on that same note, I want to, again, this isn't in our notes. I'm going off topic here, but I want to talk about a tweet from Itachi yesterday.
Oh, yeah.
He's a member of Amber Flight Gaming.
And he's also a THL member.
Yeah, and he asked in a tweet, Hearthstone players, Would you enter or routinely view a monthly championship level event with paid entry and strong visibility with the prestige of a Masters Tour, but there are no qualifiers?
Mm-hmm.
If so, what would you be willing to pay to enter? I think this is a really interesting question to the community in a time where we're talking about these issues of there not being enough third party uh, events that players can enter and have the chance to win cash prizes.
Like, there have been a few different organizations that have tried to do this. Monkey Bubble was one of them. They didn't get a lot of support in the Americas. They most of their broadcasts tend to be EU, and a lot of that's just not either the caster pools or sponsorships just aren't there. But if there was enough people interested in it, like Itachi says, then maybe they can get the sponsorships to support the prize pools, things like that. It's going to be hard to do without Blizzard support. The one thing that the HCT had that the Masters Tour doesn't have is these third-party companies can't get prize support or anything like that, or you know, points in their system to kind of promote these top-level players to compete. And if you have an open tournament and there aren't top-level players, you're not going to get viewers.
That's true. That's just true.
People watch Firebat, to watch Bloody Face, to watch Orange and Board Control. They want to see these top players, and then you fill the pool out with, if you can make sure that those people will attend, with other open face players, you know, that for an open bracket tournament. And then you might get the language hackers and people that at that time were in obscurity and only became known because of the Dream Hacks and the Geico Gamings and things like that. So some people actually came out of those pools to become well-known players. No Hands Gamer was one of those.
Yeah.
So I don't think an esport can be profitable, I guess is the best way to put it, without the help of third party and the support of third party tournaments by the game developer, which in this case is Blizzard.
Yeah.
So if these companies don't have the support, or these third party organizations don't have the support of Blizzard, then they're not going to succeed. They're not going to get the player pools that they need to satisfy sponsorships. And
it's sad. It's sad because we love, and I know most of you listening to this show love to watch Hearthstone be played at a high level. And it almost feels like Blizzard's just like, well, we tried.
I thought they were successful.
Yeah.
I thought Dream Hacks and the Geico Gamings and the Red Bull tournaments, and even back in the day when Amaz was sponsoring tournaments through his organization, Archon, and Seat Story, these were very popular and got a lot of viewing traffic on Twitch. And could possibly do so on YouTube as well.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people are saying that it suffered because of the switch to YouTube. I don't think that has anything to do with it.
I don't either.
It was just a money grab. True diehard fans are going to watch it wherever it's at. Now, most likely you're going to get less bots in the viewer channel in YouTube than you will on Twitch. I think a lot of those Twitch numbers were inflated. I know a lot of people will argue with me about that, but I think they were. I don't think the YouTube, Twitch, I don't think it matters.
Yeah.
You know, it in my opinion, that's not what killed it. Changing the system to a monetary progression system, where you progress based on how much prize money you earn in the system, and the prize money is so vastly different from 1st to 16th that basically you land one good tournament, boom, you're in. Now there should be certain tournaments, like if it was an HCT system, a lot of your Blizzard's tournaments awarded more points for first place than getting first place in, say, a Dream Hack or a Geico Gaming tournament. Yeah, because the pool is bigger, stronger. It's more curated for competition, they should get more points. So I could see some of the people would do well in a bunch of small third-party systems and just barely get in, where they land one big Blizzard tournament and they'd be able to get in. But I don't think prize money is the way to go.
Yeah. All right.
Because this system is bad.
Yeah. Yeah.
I wanted to like it, and I have fought for the reasons why it's good, but just seeing the last couple years and the results of these relegations, and I think there still should be relegations in the Grandmaster system.
I agree.
But you can't have a possible world champion, or God forbid a world champion, get relegated out of your system and not want to return. Yeah. And that could happen with either Bloody Face or Silvername.
That's right. That's absolutely correct. So, all right. Well, moving on. This week's Tavern Brawl is Rise of the Zombeasts. It's a monstrous mirror match. Take control of a deck teeming with random zombeasts and spells while using a discounted hero power to craft your undead army. So I did this. It was a one and done for me. I got my pack and moved on. How about you?
I loved it. I did this multiple times. Main reason was I did my one and done, and then today I got a quest to do 3 Tavern Brawls.
Nice.
And I was like, I could just hold this until Wednesday, or I could just do this one. And I like this one. It's randomness, but it's controlled randomness. You know it's going to be zombeasts. Yeah. And it was fun. Crazy stuff happened. I lost in amazing ways. I won in amazing ways. Rushing cave hydras are broken, and I missed them. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it was a good one.
Yeah. All right. Well, that brings us to this week's, normally where we would talk about this week's deck list. However, as we said at the top of the show, we are going to check out the new Battlegrounds changes that were implemented with patch 18.4. We kind of glossed over these last week in our show notes. So we're going to talk about them a little more in depth this week.
So sit in. You don't have to end. You don't have to go ahead and fast forward us to the end. It's not over.
Yeah.
We are going to go over the new heroes and the new elementals or new minions.
That's right.
That have been put in the elemental pool.
And
I'm really excited.
If you are watching us on YouTube, you want to use those new YouTube timestamps. You just click show more in the description. You'll see the timestamps. You can jump ahead to where we start the battleground, or you can jump back. You want to hear something again. So those are there for your convenience on our YouTube at youtube.com/ECMMO Gamers. So let's talk new Battlegrounds heroes.
Yeah.
First up, we finally see Ragnaros the Fire Lord.
Well, we've seen Ragnaros. Because he was a hero before, wasn't he?
I don't think so. Now,
didn't he have a hero power that did 8 damage randomly at the start of the battle? And then they took him out of the pool?
Maybe.
I want to say, if I know he has not been in Battlegrounds in a long time.
Yeah.
But they've totally changed it. His new, the new Ragnaros the Fire Lord has a passive hero power of die insects. After you kill 20 minions, get Sulfuros. And then Sulfuros is at the end of your turn. It's also passive. Give your left and right most minions +4/+4.
That's
so
right.
A total of +8.
So it's gonna encourage you to move minions to the far left and right to get buffed up.
It's really good in the beast build. When beasts are in the pool, because if your opponents start going a token-based minion, you're going to get those 20 enemies really fast.
Yeah. So the next new hero is Chinvala, who has a passive hero power Avalanche. After you play 3 elementals, reduce the cost of upgrading Bob's Tavern by 2.
Yeah, so I was really, when I first saw this, I was like, wow, this is really lackluster. How fast can you get this? But there are some really good elementals in the pool that give you more elementals in your hand. When so you can get this really fast, and I got my tavern tier up to 5 like really early, coupling the pirate that reduces by 2 along with this avalanche passive hero power. It I think I was like on tier 5 when I was at like 9 gold.
What
Like
would you
really
say?
fast.
Would you say it was a snowball effect?
Uh,
Oh, good
if
one.
you've been
Good one,
talking to
Avantes. Good
our
one.
hat, have
Thank
you
you,
been talking to
Avantes.
our
I
hat?
appreciate that.
No, that was a bad one. Hey, little aside, one of the ladies at work asked me. They said, "Hey, James." I said, "Yeah." They're like, "Do you like dad jokes?" I said, "Do I like bad jokes?" And she goes, "No, dad jokes." I was like, "What's the difference?" And she kind of cocked her head. I was like, "Does that answer your question?"
All right. So our next new hero is none other than Rakanishu.
Okay. First off, it's Rakadishu. Have you not?
Rakanishu. Yeah.
He is. First off, flavor wise, he's probably one of my most favorite characters in the game. They debuted him in Kobolds and Catacombs. He's the fire that's in the lantern in King Togwaggle's lantern. So I love the character. I'm glad they finally put him in Battlegrounds.
Yeah. So his hero power is Tavern Lighting. It costs 2 gold. Give a random friendly minion stats equal to your tavern tier.
Yeah, I played with this one, and it just I want to target that. I think he does get buffed. They're probably going to reduce it down to 1 mana, but I think eventually the solution is to target it, because if you hit the minion you're cycling, because you always end up cycling late game, it just feels bad.
Yeah.
Now, mind you, getting up to Tavern Tier 5 or 6 and using this for 2 mana, it's a lot of buff, but again, it's late game and it's not targeted. So I think he's a little bit lackluster. I wanted him to be better. But, there has to be some bad heroes in the pool.
Yeah. So if you guys think you've probably heard that name, Rakanishu, before, it's because Rakanishu is a character that appears in multiple Blizzard games.
Yeah.
He was also in Diablo 2. And,
but he came out first in Hearthstone in Kobolds and Catacombs.
Yes, yeah, he first appeared in Kobolds and Catacombs, but he has appeared in other Blizzard titles. So, all right, and then the last new hero that we're getting is none other than Alakir the Windlord himself. Now, he also, like Ragnaros and Shinvala, has a passive hero power. At the start of combat, give your leftmost minion Wind Fury, Divine Shield, and Taunt.
This is really sick. Especially if you get a poison minion, put him on the far left. And now it's guaranteed usually to hit 2 minions. Now, whether it gets to a Divine Shield or whatnot, but it'll swing once, pop its own Divine Shield, swing again.
Yeah.
And if it hits 2 minions that don't have Divine Shields, then that's 2 minions dead if it's on a poisonous minion.
Exactly.
So that's it. And there are some there is a poisonous minion in the new pool we'll talk about in a minute that is not tribe specific. So it's even if Murlocs are not in the pool, you could possibly have a poisonous minion.
That's right.
Now, one thing to note is all of these heroes came in on the 28th, and they are only accessed if you have the Tavern Pass. But they will be fully released on October the 13th, so about 9 days from now.
Correct. Yeah. So, all right, let's talk about some of the new Battlegrounds minions, because the one thing all the new heroes had in common is they're all elementals. And that's the same with the new minions. We're looking at an all-new elemental tribe.
But yeah, there is a new tribe, and what that means is, well, right now, elementals are going to be in the pool every time.
Yes.
Just like they did with pirates when they debuted. But because there's another pool, there's always only going to be five. I think it's five uh, uh, minion types. So before there was always one omitted. Now there's going to be two omitted.
Mm-hmm.
So you could have a situation where there's no Murlocs or beasts, which means there are no token minions whatsoever.
Don't threaten me with a good time.
Uh, which in my opinion, makes the games harder because you can't get a alley cat that you can immediately sell one for a gold. So it definitely makes it harder when that happens, and it only happened to me once. But I'm excited for these new minions. A lot of them, they're not all elementals, and all of them, I think, except for one, has forms of elemental synergies. But yeah, let's talk about these.
All right, so first up, we have the Celemental.
Favorite name ever.
It's a Tavern Tier 1 minion. It's a 2/2. When you sell this, add a 2/2 elemental to your hand.
Yeah, so this is really, really good with, which hero was it? Chimvala, because you can buy the Elemental, play it, immediately sell it, which gives you another 2/2 Elemental, play it again, and that's 2 ticks right there.
Yep. Exactly. So, next up, we have the Refreshing Anomaly. This is also a Tavern Tier 1 minion. It is a 1 mana, 1 attack, 3 health with a battle cry. Your next refresh costs 0. That can be really good.
It is really good, especially really good on a turn where you're tavern tiering up. You can sell this and then refresh maybe for next turn to see what you're going to get. Also, good thing to note is obviously with gold, stats are doubled. And in the golden version, this says your next 2 refreshes are 0, and it's a 2/6, which is really big for a tier 1 minion.
Yeah, it is. Then we have our first tier 2 elemental, the Party Elemental. It's a 2/2. After you play an elemental, give another random friendly elemental +1/+1. So this encourages you to just play elementals, sell elementals, buy more elementals, play more elementals, and just let the circle of life complete.
Yeah, and this only gives 1 minion, 2 minions if you're golden. So it doesn't snowball too well at the end, late game, but early game, if you can get this really early and you're basically only buffing up 1 or 2 minions, this can really snowball quickly, especially if you're Chinvala.
Yeah. And next up, our other tier 2 is called Molten Rock. Now, you guys have probably seen screenshots of Battlegrounds with this guy in it.
Yeah.
He's a tier 2, 2 attack, 3 health taunt. After you play an elemental, gain +1 health. The golden version is a 4/6 that gains +2 health. Now, I have seen screenshots of this guy almost as high as 1,000 health.
So I played Reno Jackson and got this guy and used my hero power right away
To make him go.
And he got huge. Just gigantic. I think I placed second in that game.
Okay.
Of course, getting elementals right now is hard because everybody's wanting to try them.
Right. So, all right. Next up, we have a tier 3 elemental, the Stasis Elemental. It's a 4/4 with Battle Cry. Add another random elemental to Bob's Tavern and freeze it.
Yeah, and the golden version adds 2 and is an 8/8. The important thing to note here is if you play this and it adds a elemental, freezes it. If you refresh the tavern, you will lose that minion.
That is correct.
So make sure if you're gonna refresh the tavern for any reason, you do it before you play the Stasis Elemental. or if you plan on buying the minion that turn.
Okay. Then we have another Tier 3 elemental, the Arcane Assistant. It's a 3/2 battle cry. Give your other elementals +1/+1. And of course, the golden is a 6/4 that gives your other elementals +2/+2.
This is sick. You can get these chaining by refreshing your taverns. Man, these arcane assistants can go crazy and really kind of help you late game, especially with some of the other higher tier minions we're going to be talking about.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. We have a third Tier 3 elemental in the Crackling Cyclone. It is a 4/1 with Divine Shield and Wind Fury.
Yeah, and the golden is an 8/2 with Divine Shield and Mega Wind Fury. Now, the Mega Wind Fury is kind of a trap. I've seen a lot of people I'm playing against go into this Mega Wind Fury build with this and the next card we're going to talk about. But usually you're dying after 2 swings anyways.
Right. It's not going to live. Even if it has Divine Shield, it'll live through the first attack and then usually die to the second attack. So what good do the extra 2 Wind Furies do you?
Not that much unless you could really jack up the health. And with these minions, it's hard to get them over that threshold. With some of the other minions, it's possible you can get up higher.
Right. So, speaking of, our first Tier 4 elemental is the Whirlwind Tempest. It is a 6/6. Your minions with Wind Fury all have Mega Wind Fury.
Yeah, and this is a card from the constructed set. I've actually played this in a Shutterwalk deck to have an OTK, and the only thing it changes with golden is it becomes a 12/12 because
you can't get mega Wind Fury.
It's not gonna get like super mega, Super Saiyan Wind Fury or nothing. It's over 9,000.
So all right. Then we have another Tier 4, the Wildfire Elemental. This is a 7/3. After this attacks and kills a minion, deal excess damage to a random adjacent minion. Or the gold version is a 14/6. Deal excess damage to both adjacent minions.
So it's like a weird cleave.
Yeah.
Except the cleave can actually, if it hits right, can do more damage than the damage it did.
Right.
So if it's a 14/14 and it hits a 6 health minion, then it's going to do 8 damage to the side. So it can be better than cleave. I've gotten some great results out of this card.
Okay. Then we have that one card we were talking about, we alluded to earlier. This is a Tier 4 non-tribal minion.
Mm-hmm.
It's called the Deadly Spore. This is a 1/1 with Poisonous. The golden is, of course, a 2/2 with Poisonous.
Yeah, and it's important to note it has no tribe, so you're not going to get any benefits from giving this type of Divine Shield or anything like that. And also, it will be in every game of Battlegrounds. It's never going to be omitted from a pool like Murlocs, where you're not going to get Tox Fit. So there's always going to be the chance. And I like that they did this because it used to be if Murlocs were omitted, you could kind of go crazy because there's going to be no Poisonous at all in the Battlegrounds. So you can go crazy with Pirates and Dragons and just go stats. Well, this card will always keep every build in check.
Right. All right. Next up, we have Major Domo Executus. He's a Tier 4 non-tribal, 6 attack, 3 health. At the end of your turn, give your leftmost minion +1/+1 for each elemental you played this turn. And, of course, the golden is a 12/6 that gives your leftmost +2/+2 for each elemental you played this turn. This kind of feels like a trap to me. What do you think?
I thought so. And then I had a couple builds where I could just kind of go crazy with Elementals. And remember, at the end of your turn, it's buffing. So placement's going to matter, but those buffs, because it's the end of your turn, are permanent. It's not just going to be for that combat.
Okay.
So this can snowball. I actually had 2 of them out, and a wildfire elemental on the far left, and he got huge. The wildfire elemental, the point it was like a 48 something.
Okay.
And I was basically cleaving their board. And since it's on Tavern Tier 4, you can actually do it pretty early in the game.
Okay. All right. Well, let's talk about Tavern Tier 5.
Oh, yeah. This is where it gets spicy.
This is where it gets interesting. First up, we have Nomi Kitchen Nightmare.
Uh-huh.
It's a non-tribal 4/4. After you play an elemental, elementals in Bob's Tavern have +1/+1 for the rest of the game.
Yeah, this in the golden version's 8/8, where they have +2/+2 for the rest of the game. These type of builds are what's kind of dominating BGs right now, and it's really hard to get them. Everybody's trying to shoot for Nomi. The one thing to note is if you say play 10 elementals, and that means all elementals in Bob's Tavern are going to get +10/+10, and then you need to sell Nomi for some reason, those minions still keep those buffs. They won't go
Correct.
up any, but they will keep those buffs for the rest of the game. So you don't have to. A lot of times with Bran, you'll sell him once you're done doing all your battle cry stuff. You can do that with Nomi as well.
Yes, yeah. And then what a lot of players I've heard are calling the best elemental to be released, Little Rag. So Little Rag is a tier 5, 4/4. After you play an elemental, give a friendly minion stats equal to the elemental's tavern tier. And if he's golden, he's an 8/8, and he gives a minion stats equal to the elemental's tavern tier twice.
Yeah, now they didn't have room to put it on the card because the text is so long. It is a random minion.
Okay.
Now this one I do believe is a trap. Everybody I've seen run and a lot of people are excited about Little Rag because it can equate for a lot of stats. Because if you're playing Little Rag, you're likely at Tavern Tier 5. So you're going to be given +5/+5 every time you play an elemental. But depending where it lands might be the problem. You might not want it landing on Little Rag, and it can land on Little Rag.
Mm-hmm.
So I think this one is a trap where Nomi seems like a trap, but it's not. This one doesn't seem like a trap, but it is, in my opinion.
Okay.
I haven't seen the results out of it like I have Nomi.
Okay. All right, and then we have another tier 5 in the Tavern Tempest. This is an elemental. It's a 4/4 battle cry. Add another random elemental to your hand. And of course, the golden is an 8/8. Add 2 other random elementals to your hand.
This one is pivotal. I'm glad it's on the same tier as Nomi and Little Rag because it's pivotal for that build. And if it was on a lower tier, then you could have a higher chance of getting both Nomi and Little Rag in there in the Bob's Tavern at the same time, because it's less likely you're going to get a bunch of 5s. But this is very pivotal to those builds, just like Celemental is. This where Celemental gets less reliable as you get into higher tiers. Once you get to 5, this kind of takes that Celemental slot. You're less looking for Celementals and more looking for the Tavern Tempest.
Okay. All right. Then we have at Tavern Tier 6, we have an elemental Lieutenant Gar. Taunt. After you play an elemental, gain +1 health for each elemental you have.
Yes.
Gar starts out as an 8/1, and the golden version, Taunt, after you play an elemental, gain +2 health for each elemental you have. and he starts out as a 16-2.
Yeah, which you think Tavern Tier 6, this kind of late, but if you can, I've started taking, what is that? It's the 1/1 legendary that transforms into another card. I don't know why.
Oh, yeah, I know which one you're talking about. I can't think of
It's
its name.
blanking. I'm blanking on its name, but I started drafting them, and I actually hit a Lieutenant Gar on like Tavern Tier 3,
Oh, wow.
and yeah, I got second in that game too.
Okay. All right. And then the last new minion is Tavern Tier 6 Elemental Gentle Genie. He's a 6/8 with Taunt and Death Rattle. Summon another random elemental and add a copy of it to your hand.
Yeah, so this is kind of like the new Nat Pagle, where he's changed it, where when he kills something, it adds a random minion to your hand, except this also summons that minion. Now, that does give some information to your opponent, but again, you're probably not facing the same opponent 2 turns in a row, so it may not be useful information.
Yeah.
But summon another random elemental and add a copy of it to your hand. I haven't seen if this works. I'm wondering if this falls under the same rules as kind of in Constructed, where it can't summon itself.
Interesting. Yeah, I don't know.
They've kind of changed a lot of the rules of Constructed so things can't summon themselves or create random effects that create themselves. So if you get a Gentle Genie into a Gentle Genie, but I don't think you can.
Yeah.
Again, I haven't seen it enough. So
yeah, so that pretty much covers all the new stuff that came to Battlegrounds. You know, last week we talked about the ratings reset, which has gone into effect, and so now that pretty much covers it. I'm excited to go play some more Battlegrounds. I've been having a blast with Battlegrounds.
Yeah. And since I've kind of been avoiding ladder just because my health's not been the greatest lately, and I've been needing to get a lot of rest, and ladder's been causing a lot of stress on me that I'm trying to avoid just for the temporary time. I've been playing Battlegrounds a lot when I'm not playing my league matches. And it's very cathartic. I don't feel, it's like if I get 8th place, no big deal. It was a fast Battlegrounds. I just jump into another one. Right now I'm not losing any rate. You're not going to lose any until you hit 2,000. And I'm halfway there now. So
yeah.
I'm really excited for Battlegrounds Changes and all the new stuff that Battlegrounds is offering.
Right.
And I think it's really good for the game. And it seems like every 0.4 of every patch is going to be a major Battlegrounds update. So it's just another set of rotation that's happening, which right now is normally a lull in Constructed Hearthstone. Well, that lull is getting filled up with Battlegrounds content, and I like the way they're doing it so far, and I hope they keep this rotation.
Okay. Well, I'm ready to go play some. So if you are joining us on YouTube, please stay tuned for the live play portion of our show. If you are listening via our audio podcast, we'd like to thank you for joining us. Remember, you can follow us at Twitter, on Twitter at HeroPower_cast. You can find all of our past episodes on YouTube at youtube.com/ECMMOGamers or on our website at HeroPowerHS.com. If you enjoy the show, you'd like to help support and improve it, you can do so by joining our Patreon at patreon.com/HeroPower. And if you want to be entered for a chance to win that $20 Battle.net card, just go to warcraftradio.com/directory and leave a review for Hero Power. We'll see you all again next week.
And don't forget to use your hero power, unless it's passive,
Fair enough. Alrighty. Well, I am in and ready to spectate. Do you have your spectate turned on?
I do. I checked it this morning.
Okay.
And immediately got a spectate from my buddy Mindbinder.
Okay.
So I am currently ranked 902, and I'm going to hit that play button.
Excellent.
Again, like I said, I got up to 602, and then just kept getting like bottom finishes,
Right.
7th place, 8th place, 6th place, and then I finished. I think it was 4th, and got 300 points. I was like, oh my gosh, it was amazing. How did I get 300 for a 4th?
All right. So, what are our options?
We have looks like Galakron, Malagos, Pyramid, and Edwin. Edwin, according to HS Replay, is a tier 2. It's our best. We don't have anything new, unfortunately. Pyramid's actually been really good since its rework. But with elementals, and we have elementals, murlocs, dragons, demons, and beasts, I think we go Edwin.
So no pirates in this.
Yeah, no pirates.
And no beasts. No, wait, we have beasts. No. Yeah, no pirates.
Yeah, I'm going to go Edwin.
Okay, yeah, go Edwin.
No pirates and no mechs?
No pirates and no mechs, that's correct.
Yeah, I think that's it. I wish it showed you the omitted, but the add-on for HS Replay will show you it's not available. And it is mechs and pirates.
Okay. So we have the refreshing anomaly, which makes our next refresh cost 0.
And it pretty much trades with a 2/2. It pretty much only loses to the 2/3 dragon and the 2/4. I think we go with that.
Okay.
Obviously, they're shoving demons down our throat, but it's kind of a trap. And I'm not going to refresh.
Right. You want to save it till next turn.
Likely, I'm going to Tavern tier up and then use the free refresh to see if I want to freeze that board.
Okay. Oh, 2-1.
Yep.
Okay.
Well, that worked.
So, now we're going to Tavern up. Yes, that is a Elemental.
Yeah, I think it's a little early to invest in the Elementals. So I think we're going to Tavern tier up.
And then refresh?
I think I'm going to freeze this.
Okay.
I think I want the Elemental for next turn, and we'll get a free refresh after we buy the Elemental.
That's true. And then we can play the Elemental, sell it, and then play our minion and buy something else.
Yeah, if the board decides that.
Right.
All right.
Okay.
So he hit a good minion off his puzzle box.
Yep.
So we're going to buy the Elemental.
Uh-huh.
And then before we play it, we're going to refresh.
Okay.
We didn't get any elemental synergies.
No, but we could take that Spawn of N'Zoth and put it on the far left.
We could. So I'm going to play this elemental. What I think I'm going to do, though, is I'm going to refresh again. Okay. See if there's anything worth freezing. And party elemental. And then I'm going to give the 1/3 a buff and freeze this because I want that party elemental.
Okay. So, do you think we should sell the Elemental before we play the party elemental so that the other two keeps the permanent buff?
Yeah, I think that's probably the way to go. This is a loss, so that's fine. We're still building up. We didn't have that many minions for him to kill for die insect, so that's good. That's slowing him down.
Yeah.
We're definitely buying the party elemental.
Uh-huh.
So that's happening, and we're definitely going to play the party elemental.
No, wait.
Huh? After you play an elemental.
Oh, after you play. Okay.
Yeah.
So let's refresh and see if we get any other elementals.
I'm going to refresh, see if we get another elemental. We did. So I'm going to sell
the Elemental.
The Elemental. Buy the Molten.
Play the Molten.
Play the Molten.
Play the Water
play
Droplet.
the Water Droplet. The question is, do I sell it to buff? No, I don't think so, since it got buffed.
Yeah.
That works.
That's good.
No reason to freeze. Yeah, that's good. Now we have a Molten Rock that we can start building up and possibly start going crazy so we can buff up minions. So the
Yeah.
elementals, you can do a lot of buy, sell, buy, sell, buy, sell. Whoa. So somebody is tanking.
Okay.
Or if he's doing that for a reason. Oh, well. Free win. We'll take it.
So no elementals here.
No, but I think we go ahead and take this to Tavern Tier Up.
Okay. I like that. And then refresh.
I'm wondering if we just buy... If we just buy the Glyph Guardian to have a good minion on the board.
Put it on the far left and let it attack.
I think so. It's better than not buying anything.
Okay.
And I think that positioning is going to be fine. Because we didn't have any elementals, so...
Right.
We do want to start trying to see if we can get some more Elementals, or if we can get to... Is it Tavern Tier 4? No, it's Tavern Tier 5. So, Stasis Elementals at Tier 3. So,
yeah,
we could try to start getting some Stasis Elementals. That would be good. Arcane Assistants are 3. 3 is kind of the hot spot you want to be at, to maybe hover at 3 for a little bit.
Okay. Puzzle box is going well for this guy, obviously.
Yeah, likely a loss. But he's only got 1 minion he'll get a buff on.
Right.
And I don't think it's... Depending on where these go... That's a good hit. I think we tie now?
No, we win.
No, we win. We win. We would have tied if it traded the other way.
Right.
That was only like a 16.5% chance to win, so that's good.
Okay. So, no elementals here.
No elementals, but there's a Shifter Xeris.
That's the one we were trying to remember.
Oh, Shifter Xeris. I'm taking it.
Okay, yeah. Buy the Shifter Xeris and then refresh.
I'm going to refresh. Hopefully I can buy something.
No, refresh.
Worth buying. Refresh.
No.
Refresh again. There's probably a lot of people
thinking, there's a
Elemental. We would have to... Let's sell the dragon.
Yeah.
Buy the Elemental. I'm going to sell the Elemental.
Play this
one, then I'm going to buff...
Hero Power.
I think we buffed the Molten Rock.
I agree.
Yeah, I like that. And now we have 2 water droplets. If we get another Elemental, we will triple on the water droplet.
Yeah.
I like getting Shifter Xeris with Elemental builds. And see, he's going Elemental as well.
Yep.
He doesn't seem as strong as us, though.
He has the 2 Molten Rocks.
Yeah. Oh, wow, our Molten Rock killed, what, 3 minions?
Yeah.
That was crazy. Yeah, there's no way we lose this, but we can tie. We're not going to tie it.
Okay.
All right, come on. Give us some elementals. Unstable ghouls, not
good. We're gonna leave that. Yeah.
I think we Tavern Tier Up and start refreshing.
Okay, I'm good with that.
Because we can safely sell the refreshing anomaly.
Oh, there's that doesn't really help us because we don't have any with
no, but theory. It's a much larger body than the 3/3 refreshing anomaly.
Okay.
So I think we sell the refreshing anomaly, and we buy the Whirlwind Tempest, because that's going to be, I mean, that's buffs.
Right.
So if nothing else, it's a 6/6 body instead of a 3/5 body. And actually, you can say it's a 7/7 body since it gave +1/+1, or 7/8, technically. Okay. We've got Alexstrasza who's running dragons, but they just lost to Yogg, but Yogg's been beating everybody, so that doesn't mean
except
anything.
us. I think we're the only ones that has beat Yogg so far.
Yeah. They've been beating everybody else. We're not really using our hero power to the most benefit, but we've got minions that are doing basically the same thing.
Right.
It's a good hit. It's a decent hit. Yeah, we lose this 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's some big hits,
wow.
too. 2 fours.
14. Woo.
Yeah. It's a big hit on us.
Yeah, from second place to fifth. Oh, there's a Molten.
So we got another Bolton. That's good. So we're buying that. We got us a Murazon. What was he? That was, who was that?
That was Alex Straza.
He's running dragons. So we don't want to get a dragon.
Right.
So let's refresh. Ooh, Arcane Assistant.
Yeah.
That's good.
Arcane Assistant is good.
Menagerie Mug's not great. But the crowd favorite, that's only one battle cry there.
Yeah.
I think the crowd favorite's a trap.
I think we refresh.
So we're going to play the Molten Rock. And we're definitely going to play the Arcane Assistant. Okay. There's Executus.
Sell the Arcane Assistant and
buy Executus. And he's going to buff up the leftmost. So we want to put the 613 Molten Rock over there, right?
I think so.
So it'll get the buffs?
Yeah, it'll be a 714.
Yeah, I like that.
What do you do we ever take the Defender of Argus, or do we just let it go?
I thought about it, but the Executus was better, and I don't think it's worth freezing.
Okay. And we have two taunts already.
I think we definitely may take the Defender of Argus later, but I don't think we freeze for that.
Okay.
Uh-oh, Bob thinks we can win it, which means we're probably going to lose it. We lose this 100%. And this can be a lethal.
Ooh.
Yeah, he's done the elemental thing better than us. He got Bran.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah. He's already Tavern Tier 5.
That's lethal. We're out.
Yeah, we're out. And see, I've noticed with exact lethal, too. I've noticed with the elemental stuff, I had somebody hit me before turn 10 for like 27 to knock me out.
Yeah.
They can snowball really fast. We didn't get to snowball as fast.
Right.
Oh.
Well, okay. So that was interesting. Yeah, we were building up really well, and we went from second to dead in 2 attacks.
And sometimes your matchups just do that. I mean,
yeah,
he obviously was. That's the problem right now with elementals is somebody else is likely doing your game plan. If they get the better pulls than you and refresh less, then they're probably going to beat you.
Right.
Once elementals are no longer the new hotness, it may be worth trying to do elemental builds. Right now, we did elementals because, first off, it's a new thing. We wanted to show it off. But if I'm playing like off stream or off of the show, I'm probably going to do something non-elemental because everybody else is going elemental.
Yeah, and see the game I won earlier this week. That's exactly what I did. I knew elementals were new. I knew everybody was going to be drafting elementals. I went Murlocs.
I mean, Murlocs are great against elementals because you can get the poisonous and the divine shields. Well, not divine shields anymore. Poisonous on them.
And I got into. I was playing as the Murloc hero that when you sell a Murloc creates a random Murloc.
Flurgle.
Yeah. So I ended up getting it going. I had the machine just churning. And I
don't think I've ever had Flurgle offered to me.
Yeah, and I had a Bran, so every single time I got a Murloc with a battle cry, I was getting double the battle cry out of it, and I pretty much ended up with. Let me see if I can pull it up here. Stats. Yeah, right here. So. I ended up with two with
wow, that's huge.
Poisonous, and then I had a 92-47 tier 1 Murloc and just kind of rolled.
Yeah, I had a second place win where I Xeris'd into a Bran early and started just going crazy.
Yeah.
And went Murlocs, and I ended up doing well in that game too.
Yeah. So
yeah.
All right, guys, that's going to do it for us this week. If you have any questions or comments about the show, please email us at heropowerpodcast@gmail.com. Hit that subscribe button below on YouTube and click that little bell icon to be alerted whenever we upload new content. For more details about our patron-only Discord, head over to patreon.com/heropower. And until next week, good gaming.
Bye, guys. Until 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
18th.
5-year anniversary show.
That's right. Bye, guys.